My name is Outsider2522 and welcome to another Idleon video. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be guessing what's coming in World 6. We've got some information from main Discord to give us hints as to what's going to happen in those skills, but today we're going to speculate and guess how that might all tie together. Let's talk about it. Okay, so before I get started, I want to say a massive thank you to all of you that have followed my YouTube channel. So basically this past week I've become a YouTube partner, which means that I'm at the point where I could potentially monetize the channel. That is in no small part thanks to you guys. You have done the heavy work there by subscribing, watching the videos, commenting, all that great stuff. So let's keep that up. I can't thank you enough. I'm buzzing. It was something I always wanted to achieve. You guys have made it a reality for me, so thank you very much. So yeah, please carry on with the liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Join the Discord. There's a link below if you want to chat to me at any point. We'll keep this community growing. Let's keep this going. So a massive shout out to one of my guildmates, Roranoa Zoro1. He's a great guy. If you're in the main Discord, you've probably seen him. He's the guy who figures out the weekly boss battle rotation and how to master it. I'm banned from main Discord. I put my hands up. I said a few things they weren't happy with. They banned me. So he sent me over all the information. I wouldn't be able to make out this video without him. So a huge thanks to him. So the first one I'm going to talk about is probably farming. Mainly because farming seems like the simpler of the skills. So it looks as though we're going to get a day market with it, which I'm assuming is that you can buy buffs in there. But they're probably likely to be like temporary buffs. So I'm expecting things like growth cycles to be skipped. You know, a certain seed grows, a certain seed appears in the market. That sort of thing. You're more likely to pick a certain seed, that kind of thing. There also seems to be a second option that looks almost like a market, which is handyman tools. Now, I'm assuming as you upgrade through the skill, you'll be able to get new tools that will help you to increase. This kind of feels similar to the the exports in gaming. However, Lava has said that there are very few similarities between farming and gaming, and farming is actually more like cooking in the way that it's set up. So, with that being said, what I'm expecting is that we plant a seed. We cultivate it through 4 stages. So we've got pictures from Lava to show that there are 4 stages of growth. And once it reaches the maximum growth, you can then cultivate it, harvest it. You'll be able to get your, you'll be able to get the produce that it produces, as well as potential seeds for a new plant. If you played idle skilling, I'm assuming it's going to work very similar to that, in that the higher your level or skill or something in it will increase your chances of unlocking the next seed. However, what I'm hoping for is that it will be a little bit more complicated than the idle skilling one. In idle skilling, once you unlock the seed, you could use it infinitely. I'm hoping that with this one, you can only use seeds that you have in your inventory, so you have to actually keep farming lower ones to get the higher ones. Also, another thing which I would like to see, but I've got a funny feeling it's not going to happen, is I feel like there could be a little bit of synergy here between farming and chopping. Okay, so what I would love to see is based around your chopping level, you make a clean cut on the plant to harvest. And the higher your chopping level, it adds a little multiplier to the produce at the end of it. So those people who have really, really high skilling might see the bonuses from it in another skill. It's a nice little synergy between skills. I'm not expecting it, but I would love to see that. So Lava, if you do watch this video, feel free to add that. We're also getting another part to the farming side, which is like which is a beanstalk. Now, when you're farming, there seems to be a chance that you'll get a magic bean. This hasn't been confirmed, but it's just a guess, is that there is a chance to get it. You might also be able to get them from the market, so maybe the day market might have a magic bean in it or something every once in a while. But until we see that, we don't know. So with these magic beans, it's going to grow a beanstalk, and Lava has been very, very quiet about what the beanstalk actually does. So we don't have a lot of information to go on, but there is one thing that I can speculate that I'm kind of hoping that he might do. And that is, recently we've seen a lot more skills that kind of synergize across the world. So that means that they work well with another skill and they interlace with each other, thinking like, you know, pet battles linking up with the spices that you got that then went into cooking. You know, they kind of work together. So what I'm wondering is if the beanstalk is used to unlock higher difficulty stuff for the second skill. Okay, let's talk about the second skill. Now, the second skill seems to be the meat of World 6. He's called it sneaking. I'm not sure if... Well, that's what it seems to be called, is sneaking. It would make more sense for it to be like ninjutsu or something, but we'll go with what seemingly is the title, is sneaking. This might not be the actual title of the skill, but it's kind of what's on a couple of the screenshots he sent. And what's going to happen is you're going to ascend through an abandoned temple and be stealthy on each level, and if you complete the level, you will receive an item. Now, one of the things he said is that there will be no RNG attached to this skill. What that means is, from what I'm reading, is if you clear that level, we will all get the same item. So the race will be to clear the levels as quickly as possible. Now, he's also mentioned Jade coins coming into it. Now, these will be a reward for clearing levels as well, and you can use these coins to purchase upgrades in a Jade Emporium shop. These upgrades are world upgrades, so they'll increase everything from the looks of it. So potential for drop rate, damage, you know, all of those great percentage multipliers we've seen recently. There's a potential that they could be in there, but again, nothing is confirmed on what's in the Jade Emporium yet, so it's all just speculation. But given that the last few updates, such as Equinox and the fishing one, have given us things like damage, skill efficiency, drop rate, HP, MP, I could see it kind of going that way, as well as potentially giving new buffs to previous skills. So you might see a couple of new sailing ones, like the ability to upgrade our artifacts one more level or unlock new islands. Who knows? The world is his oyster here. There is a lot he can do. Now, where do I think the beanstalk is going to tie in? Now, here's just a guess, but I wonder if each tower belongs to a certain level on the beanstalk. Say, for example, the first tower goes up to the 10th level of the beanstalk. All right, and the first flower's got 10 floors on it. So you can do 10 different stages, and then all you can do is repeat those stages for more Jade coins. The only way you can go higher is by unlocking a new tower, and that is how the beanstalk mechanic works. Now, that is massive speculation. There are no pointers to that, other than him stating that the beanstalk will interact with the second skill. All right, he labelled farming as the first skill, which means that sneaking, ninjutsu, whatever it will be the second skill, which means the beanstalk and the magic beans from farming have to interact with the second skill. The only way I can see that is by it gating the progression of how fast we go up these towers. There has also been a nice, somewhat leak of one of the skills that will be coming in World 6. Now, it's called Revenge of the Pickle, and it looks to me like something you're going to be able to buy from the Jade Emporium, but again, we can't confirm that. We don't know how you're going to unlock it. Now, he shared a screenshot of Revenge of the Pickle, but he didn't actually share what was under it, okay? The words below it were blurred out, which is fine. That makes sense, all right? He wants to keep some things a secret, but people have tried to decipher it. Now, I don't know how they've deciphered it, whether they've looked at the text and tried deciphering it or if they've run it through a program, I don't know, okay? Now, what people have written underneath is that the Revenge of the Pickle skill adds a new boss page to the Death Note. Now, it says to the left of World 1 in Death Note. Now, what I would imagine that means is that, obviously, at the minute the Death Note goes World 1, World 2, World 3, World 4, World 5. Alright? Before that, as like almost like a page 0 will be a boss page. Okay? So, then what they're saying is each Death Joe Pickle in your inventory counts as +1 boss Death Note kill. What this looks like is that when you kill bosses going forward, they will drop a Death Joe Pickle. Each one of those is going to count as a Death Note kill for bosses. It doesn't say there's different Death Joe Pickles, so I'm going to assume there's only the one kind, which means no matter which boss you kill, you're going to get one for it. Alright, it doesn't say anything about whether higher difficulty bosses are going to drop more pickles or not. So it looks like the Revenge of the Pickle is going to be an overall kill count of all bosses rather than each boss individually. Now, again, speculation at this point, it is blurred text, so we're going with the best with what someone's come up with. We cannot confirm that, but given that each Death Joe Pickle counts as +1 boss Death Note kill, if it was split across all the bosses, I'd expect it to have a different name for the pickle. However, what could happen is there could be chiseled Death Note Pickle. Yeah, Death Joe Pickle, sorry. We don't know, alright? We'll have to wait and see how this works out. But it means that we could be getting more bonuses in the Death Note for bosses, which is fantastic. What I'm hoping for is rather than the usual multi-kill, which we get because bosses are different, hopefully it will give us drop rate so we can get those rare drops such as the wings a little bit easier. That would be great. Alright, that's kind of what I'm hoping would happen for this kind of thing. Okay, so another thing that we've seen is what seems to be scrolls and charms. Now, again, I'm going to assume these are linked to sneaking, and I'm going to assume you either get them as drop rewards from clearing dungeons, rather tower levels, sneaking levels, whatever they're called. The charms seem to give you a buff. We don't know what that buff is yet. As we get the charms, we'll find out. The golden scrolls multiply that buff. So think of it like a golden food, but specifically for the charms. Now, they seem to be held in their own menu, which means hopefully these won't take up more inventory spaces. But again, until the release comes out, we can't see for certain. What I'm thinking is this will be a sort of like a sneaking inventory that will hold all of your charms with your golden scrolls, and you'll see the numbers like that. It does look like it's most likely going to be contained to things that benefit sneaking. However, again, there might be something in there that sneaks into the other worlds. We don't know. I'm going to assume that it's just sneaking for the time being, mainly because a lot of the posts were focused on the second skill specifically, not how they interact with other things. And on the few times when things have interacted with other skills, he's been quite kind to label. The other thing there seems to be is that just clearing a stage in sneaking doesn't seem to guarantee the reward. Okay? It looks as though you're going to get a percentage of a chance to get the reward. And if you get it, great. If you don't, you have to run the dungeon, well, the level again. Also, there is a screenshot that he shared that shows him as not getting a reward, even though he had a 31% chance, and someone else finding 2 items, which makes me wonder if sneaking can be played co-op. Similar to the raid mechanic. Is there a way? We don't know. Alright, I'm going to guess that there is co-op purely because we've got a screenshot that shows 2 people getting rewards. However, there is a chance it could just be 2 different people running it individually. But Lava's put the 2 screenshots and the 2 images next to each other, so it would be strange for them not to be connected. He's pretty good like that. Finally, there is an upgrade mechanic for the items found during sneaking. Now, he said that the way to get items is linearly, so you will unlock one after the other. However, the upgrades may not be. Alright? Now, there are 2 ways this could be handled. One is that whichever floor you got the item on, you rerun it, and every time you rerun it, there's a chance for the item to go up one. Okay? That would encourage people to replay previous floors, and if it's co-op, that would be great because that encourages old players with bigger gear to help new players with lower gear. Alright? Depending on how he balances out items and their availability, their bonuses, that kind of thing. The other way he could do it is through purchases in the Jade Emporium. Now, purchasing in the Jade Emporium works. It would also encourage people to run through missions, but what you'd find most likely is people would only run the most difficult mission because that's going to give you the best Jade payout, so you would have no reason to run the earlier ones, which means the earlier ones become dead content. So I would prefer it if it was the first option. However, I don't know what he's been like in terms of time frames, so the easier option to code would most likely be the second one. Alright, so I would expect the second option, that these would be buyable upgrades, that you can upgrade your items by paying. However, my hope is that there is a run it and you might get an upgrade or not, depending on if you get lucky. He has said there is no RNG, but I don't know if he means at all or if he just means in unlocking new things. Okay, so whether it be the first time you clear a map, you get the unlock at the end of it, and then upgrading it or getting Jade coins is the RNG part, because there needs to be some level of RNG to keep the replayability. Otherwise, people will just finish the skill and be done with it, which is what sneaking sounds a little bit like there is potential for it. We'll have to wait and see. So I would love to hear your guys' feedback about this kind of video. Obviously, it's something new and fresh for me. I've never done a speculation video before. I know a lot of it is actually just looking at what we've got and trying to put the dots together. But if you've got any ideas of how you think World 6 is going to go, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Any sort of feedback, whether you want to see more of this kind of thing, let me know. Also, if you've made it this far in the video, just to show me you have, leave a comment that says, what should we make it say? Shall we say, lava, please make items upgradable by rerunning levels? All right, that's my one wish for this. Until next time, you've been amazing. Take care.